Bradman, he got a new bag of green every time he played for Australia. But during Steve Waugh's era, they said, no, we just want one. We want one hat, we want to wear it over and over and over again, so it does get faded and dusty. And so that's why Steve Waugh's hat might look older than a Donald Bradman hat, because it's been worn so many times out in the sun. And why you'll often hear Bradman's hat has come up for auction again, because he had so many of them. So we've got our men's hats here, our ladies' hats over there. The ladies do prefer the baseball cap, because they can put their ponytail out the back. So it's a little bit easier to wear than the baggy green, and I can totally relate to that. Then maybe the only difference is the men have yellow writing on a red banner, the ladies have red writing on a yellow banner. Yeah. That's the only sort of difference there. All right, my friends, let's head out and go for a wander. Let me set up the Steve Waugh statue for you right there. You're going to fall over before I do, aren't you? You're backward walking. At least I don't know where I'm going when I'm walking backwards. So this statue represents Australian cricket 2002-2003. Steve has a twin brother called... On this particular day, Steve was watching the cricket. Steve was playing cricket. Mark was watching the cricket, and it was boring. Look, I'll just give you a moment. Go and grab a photo. Then we might go and stand inside. I can tell you the story inside as easily as I can tell you outside. So if you want to grab a photo of the Steve Waugh statue, notice his lucky pink hanky in his pocket. So on this particular day, Steve was playing cricket, Mark was watching the cricket, and the cricket was boring. So Mark decided to watch the horses instead. Just around the corner we have Randwick Racecourse. But Mark, sitting watching the horse races at the end of the day, heard an almighty cheer come out of the Sydney cricket ground when Steve, on the last ball of the day, got a four, got him over his century for his last test match here at the Sydney cricket ground. So that's what that statue there represents. He would have not had his bag of green in his hand, he would have had his helmet on, would have been poetic license there. And as I mentioned, the lucky pink hanky in his pocket, which we do have in the museum. You may have seen it in the museum, if not, have a look when we get back down there as well. So the plan for today is, we're going to take up the Walk of Honour. Then I'm going to take him to level 4. I like to do a bird's eye view first of all, so I'll get a good view of the whole stadium from up the top. Then we'll go to level 3, which is our media suites and commentary boxes on level 3. Down to the basement, which is the press conference room. Have a quick video down there and have a look there. Then we will come back into here. I'll take you quickly onto the field of play. We can't go out to the centre, but I can get you onto the field of play. And then we'll finish upstairs where we have the away dressing room and the home dressing room. So we do save the best till last. And just to point out something here too, if you check out the door behind you, so not the glass doors but the shape of the door, imagine a horse and carriage coming through there with members on board. So the horse and carriage would come in. This was a cobblestone street. You can see the gutter. So the concrete gutters on the edge. The horse and cart would come in here. The members get off undercover, go upstairs to their bar and enjoy their game of cricket outside. The horse and carriage would continue out the back and go and park over on the grass area over the back over there. Yep. Inside. We'll go out and I'll give you time if you do want to take a photo. But there's a statue missing. because we used to have a statue over where they're doing the construction work at the moment. What we're currently doing is we're moving all the outdoor practice fields, all the practice pitches. So when we get upstairs, you can have a bit of a view looking down on them. There's 16 outdoor practice pitches, and what they do is they use 4 at any one time. And they represent as closely as possible the actual pitch inside the stadium. So especially for our visiting teams, they're getting a good feel of what the bounce is going to be like and what the spin is going to be like once they step out on the field. Now, our secret weapon here at the City Cricket Ground is Bulli soil. So Bulli is a suburb of Wollongong, down south of Sydney. So the soil is a black coal clay type of substance. And so that is used outside here. It's also used on all our pitches out in the centre. And once we get through a couple of days of games, you can see when it's starting to crack up, you can actually see that black soil starting to poke through. So we keep about 10 tonnes stored here on site and about 100 tonnes stored in a secret location somewhere off-site as well. And apparently there was a delivery last week. It came in and sort of this all secrecy as this truck came in to deliver the soil to create the new outdoor pitches there. So why they're redoing the pitches is so that they've moved them down this way, because behind that now we're building a brand new building that will have the indoor pitches as part of it. And the beauty of our indoor pitches is that there'll be a spin pitch, there'll be a fast pitch, there'll be a slow pitch. And so the players can actually practice indoors on different styles of pitches. So they're now for our home team to practice on when they're going overseas. We can change the humidity. We can change the intensity of the sunlight. We can change the heat. So yes, so when they're going overseas, we can say, okay, here's what it's going to be like in a week's time when you're playing in the subcontinent or in England or somewhere else. Check it out. So that's sort of why that's all moved down. The white building you can see there is the temporary building that we've got here at the moment. If the door's open when we go past, I'll have a quick look in there for you. But telling you all that story is because our friend Fred Spofford used to have a statue here. And we've pulled down that statue just so we can do the outdoor pitches. Now Fred was our first fast bowler. We're talking 1880s. And Fred went to England as Australia's first fast bowler and became known as the Demon. He was a tall man, he was bowling fast, and he started staring at the batsman, intimidating the batsman. Became known as the Demon. Fred was also part of the Australian cricket team when for the very first time Australia beat England in England. England were not happy. They put an ad in the newspaper. English cricket is dead. The body has been burnt and the ashes has been taken to Australia. Absolutely, my friend, that's right. So it started as a newspaper headline. If it happened today, it would be a Facebook status update or a Twitter feed. So things still went viral even back then. The English cricket captain, Ivo Blythe, said, "I'm going to Australia to reclaim our ashes." And the whole country was behind him. Now here's what I love. The Australian women become part of our story. Now, we don't like to let truth get in the way of a good story. And I'm sure you have your own opinions on what the ashes are and how they came about. But basically, an Australian woman in Melbourne had a perfume bottle this big, put some ashes into it, gave it to the captain of the English cricket team, said, "Here are your ashes, take them back to England." She then fell in love with him and married him and went to live with him back in England with that little ashes urn. Now, that ashes urn very rarely leaves England, and I personally have no problem with that. It's a historical item, it should just sit in one place, as long as we remember who wins it each time it's won in this part of the world. So, giving you that background again, so I can move up to this statue here. So then in the 1930s, England came out to Australia, not so much for the ashes or even to beat Australia. They came to beat Bradman. Now, this is not Donald Bradman, and it's a bit tricky because you can't see his name played out front there. A friend of his called Stan McCabe. McCabe and Bradman were the only two Australian batsmen during this test series that managed to get over a century. And there's a special name we give to this test series. Bodyline series, and that's why the statue of Stan McCabe's in that position there, trying to protect his body from the English style of bowling and fielding that was happening. So as I said, I'll give you a moment. If you want to even look at any of the honours boards down here, do that. I'll take you out and have a photo of Stan McCabe if you want to, and then we're going to head into our new building over here, and I'll take you up to level 4. So just have a quick wander here if you like. seeing dribbling things. Look at that. Well, I know you know the answer to these too, so yeah. Mum brings you in the middle of the tour. Hi, I'm actually in the middle of the tour. That's okay. I was going to give you some update about my mom's there when I was talking. You want a bat to hold in your hand for the photo? Oh. I carry props. This is cute. I'm going to go this way, folks. Australian cricketers in the early 1900s. That's their high school. Now, only people under 21 can answer this question. What does the asterisk mean? Not out. 452 and not out. Okay, what an amazing score. And I can show you the actual scorecard when we get into the dressing rooms. The scorecard is there on the wall. There are no sixes. There are no sixes in that score, which makes it even more amazing. Yep. But the stand here named after Noble and Bradman. When this stand was opened in 2016, it was the newest of its kind anywhere in the Southern Hemisphere. And what made it so unique was the Wi-Fi technology. So on game day, from your mobile device, you could order your food and drink, pay for your food and drink, you'd get a text message to say your food and drink was ready for you. That is now rolled out throughout the stadium, but this was sort of the starting point of it. 420 TV screens, so it doesn't matter where you are or what you are doing, you can still watch the game. Whether you're standing in a food line or waiting in the toilets, you're on the TV screen, you can still see what's happening. So we're going to head up to level 4. I won't try and talk to you on level 4 because it'll probably be a bit windy, just grab some photos on level 4. Well, first of all, have a look at the Sydney Cricket Ground side on level 4, then I'll take you over the back and I'll show you our new football stadium that's being built on the other side as well. Now, is everybody okay on escalators?
Yep.
It's a better view if we've got the escalators.